day 2 weeks, we will be sitting down, right about this time, to watch the next, Riyadh show. It's going to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm looking forward to it. August 16th, 2 weeks, a fortnight's time. I will, of course, be doing a live watch along for it. I'll actually be here in Dublin for it to do that live watch along. And I'll talk about that now in a wee bit. Well, I'll talk about that maybe on Review of the Week. It's nothing major, but just I'll be here for that particular week. It's a little break that I'm having a week at home that week. But that card itself is a very good card. Abraham Nova stepping in for Anthony Kakaji against Ray Ford. I was really looking forward to that fight, which is a shame. It's a big shame because I thought that was a really, really good card. Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman. Obviously, we know about the main event, Moses Atalma versus Dillian White. But. A fight that's on this card that I can't help but say it's intriguing the hell out of me for just a number of reasons. I'm currently working on a film study for it. Preferably, I'd like to do the film study back in the flat in London because the light and everything, it just looks a little bit better. I'd like to do it in the flat in London, but we might do it today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow because it's about 7 in the evening this evening, and it's been a long day. I was helping my friend in his garden up in Dundalk, and I'm just back. I'm not a labourer, believe me. So we'll try and get that film study out. But this fight, Filip Hrgovic, David Adeleye, it's such an intriguing fight for me because it seems with these Saudi shows, we always know what they're thinking, normally anyway, and then they're talking about the main event, they announce the card, and then it's just like, boom, here's a fight for you that you didn't expect, no one's seen coming. Sometimes it's good, sometimes you're just scratching your head like, huh? And this right here is one of those fights. When it was announced, I was kind of like, Hrgovic versus Adeleye. Okay, it's a bit of a out of left field one. I can kind of see where me and Ade spoke about this. I forget who it was. Was it Sam Jones or was it someone said it to Ade that essentially they use football as an analogy. Essentially, you're in the last 32 of the FA Cup and you get given a bye to the quarterfinals. You can choose to have that or bye to the semi-finals. You can choose to have that bye or you can just do it the normal way. Well, you're going to choose the bye, aren't you? Obviously, you're going to choose that fast track and jump to world level. It's obviously going to be harder in terms of the fight you're going to have or respect the football game of football. But if you win it, look what's waiting for you. And I guess that's what David Adeleye has done with this. Adeleye and Hrgovic actually shared the same card. They both fought on the Joe Joyce Filip Hrgovic show, which happened back in April. That was Frank Warren's debut with The Zone. And obviously, it's all in-house. They're both Queensberry fighters, Hrgovic and Adeleye. He obviously fought Jamie TKV on the undercard. And when you look at both guys' respective fights that night, Hrgovic was the more, I say clear. It's hard to say clear victor because Adeleye stopped Jamie TKV and Hrgovic went the distance with Joe Joyce. He was the deserved winner, don't get me wrong, but he shifted some punishment. It was a fun fight. It was competitive, very competitive. Adeleye was actually getting outboxed quite badly by Jamie TKV. He was able to pull a shot, a naughty-ish shot. The referee, it was naughty, but he was still able to close the show and finish the fight. Now, an immediate rematch was ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control just in the wake of all that happened, everything with that, the punch on the break, etc., etc. And we thought that was what we were going to get. We were going to get a rematch of this when we didn't know, but we just assumed we inevitably would get a rematch. Instead, now we have this fight. Now, again, Joe Joyce may have seen better days, but he is still on his day, in his prime, was a world level fighter. Now he's on the fringes of world level, maybe a slightly bit below it. Filip Hrgovic, it's really hard to say where really he was at because at the end of the day, he was very much avoided for a while in his career, and he was. Michael Hunter, Joe Parker, I think even did. Tony Yoka, if I remember correctly, was willing to fight him in an IBF eliminator, but he was contracted to fight Martin Bacoli. That really came back to bite him in the you-know-what. But Hrgovic went through that stage where no one seemed to want to fight him. He then fights Zhilei Zhang, doesn't look good, scrapes a victory by the skin of his teeth. And then all of a sudden he's lost that kind of boogeyman perception. He then fights Dempsey McKean, doesn't look good in that fight, stops him in the 12th round, could have done that probably 11 rounds earlier. Moses Atalma goes in there, blasts McKean out like that, no problem, no questions asked. Not good. Then he fights, what was his name, Mark Demori. on the Day of Reckoning show, that was an indication to where he was at. Like, why are you fighting Mark DeMori? Seriously, that's a horrible fight. The guy is garbage. The guy was David Hayes' comeback fight after years out of the ring when he was riddled with injuries, and he stopped him in a round. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. He was overconfident against Daniel Dubois, and that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. Hrgovic comes across as someone who believes in his ability, but he believes in it maybe a bit too much, to the point where he's in there with a shark and he's thinking he's in there with a dolphin. Seriously, because that's how it was in the Dubois fight. He was looking at Daniel Dubois thinking, I've handled you in sparring, you're not that good, easy work, punched himself out, ends up getting stopped. I don't know if that's going to be the case in this fight. The film study I'm watching has been interesting. It's an intriguing fight, to say the least. Hrgovic versus Adeleye. It's very intriguing for me. I'm looking forward to doing this film study. Adeleye, he's not a terrible fighter. He's working with Adam Boot, who is an interesting coach. I think David Adeleye maybe does have the stylistic approach that Adam Boot would like. You kind of have to make a relationship with Adam Boot work in terms of fighter trainer, obviously, not in terms of a friend, whatever like that. I don't know about that, but to make fighter trainer work, you kind of need to have a lot of attributes. You need to have athleticism, speed, reflexes, power, etc. If you don't have them all, you're kind of up what's creek without a paddle. Adeleye has a lot of that, but he is still very raw. The Fabio Wardley fight showed us that. I thought he was soundly beaten by Fabio Wardley that night. It does give us a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions there about David Adeleye, certainly. Filip Hrgovic is more of a known commodity, and you look at Hrgovic and you think he should win this fight, but given his track record of rising to the occasion when he's needed to and then blowing hot and cold a lot. I mean, if you think about it like this, he was handling journeyman with ease, the Riddell Brokers of the world and people like that, the Sean Turners of the world, people like that. I think he fought Kamil Sakalovsky. I think he might have fought Kamil Sakalovsky, but he handled those guys with ease, that level of opponent. Then he steps up, he goes in there against, Zhilei Zhang, world level, struggles. Desi McKean is not even fringe world level, looks horrible in that fight and just gets him out of there when he finally decides to put his punches together. And he looks alright against Joe Joyce, but he knows Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce fought him in the amateurs. He knows he needs to be good against Joe Joyce. When he's gone in there thinking, I can just win this fight easy, i.e. Daniel Dubois, he lost. So it's a real interesting one to see how Hrgovic will approach this mentally. It's very interesting. Adeleye will go in there. He's young. He is inexperienced, very inexperienced. He's never fought at world level. He's only fought at British level. But he'll go in there with the ignorance of youth, and he will go in there fully believing, I am going to beat this guy. It's going to be very interesting. Hrgovic, though, has one of the best chins, if not the best chin in the heavyweight division. So that is going to be a hard chin to check. Obviously, he has a great left hook. Does David Adeleye, and not a bad right hand either. But if Zhilei Zhang is not hurting you, I know he was down in that fight officially, but that wasn't a knockdown. It should never been ruled it. The actual left hands he was taking, no effect. People, that's Zhilei Zhang. It's one of the biggest punchers, if not the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, and you're not being affected by his shots. Yo, really? That's some chin. So I look forward to this fight. I think it's so interesting. It's such an out of left field type of fight, but so much intrigue along with it. It really is. It really is. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We're 2 weeks away from this big fight night. I, for one, am just really looking forward to it. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. There's not a lot of boxing in the month of August. We've had a lot of fights announced for September and October, but August is still a little bit thin on the surface. It's going to be thin on the surface, but we're going to have one big absolute Hail Mary of a show. And man, we've got some good fights on there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video as always, people. If you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Till next time.